Hello everybody, welcome to the live stream of, it's the first time, we are live, we are all nervous, it's all okay. No, welcome everybody to the meet and greet in Tenerife, live from Duotone Pro Center. We have seen beautiful weather, beautiful conditions, and we are here to answer all your questions. Just like we did last year with the meet and greet here live in our center. But as we all know, because of the circumstances, that's not possible this year. So we figured out this is the solution. And we are here, what I said, to explain you all the questions. And I'm here with Marco Lang, the chief tester from Duotone. Next to him we see Jordy Vonk, PWA top 5 for many years, always performing great. And they are here to do a lot of development, R&D. And they're going to explain us a little bit what they have been up to the last couple of weeks, how they got here, and from there we will see what you guys will throw at us. Marco Lang, what have you been up to the last weeks?
Yeah, it's been great to be back here on Tenerife. For me, actually, it doesn't feel so different compared to last year. Okay, we have this Corona situation now, but actually here, to get here, it's also not that much like a... You have to do the PCR test, which is also not like a big deal. You just register one day before your flight, you get there, do the test, you get the result just before the flight. At the airport you have to show the passport, like nothing else, and then you have to show the result, and that's it.
Yeah.
So actually there is not so much going on, and then you arrive here. It's windy, it's sunny, you can go on the water, you just have to wear the mask and that's it. So for me, nothing changed compared to last year.
It's actually more comfortable, the planes are not as busy. so it's actually quite nice to fly at the moment. No, it doesn't feel too much different compared to using public transport at home or sitting in a plane, you wear the mask the whole time. You all have a negative test which you have to show. There's a special QR code, you have to fill in some documents online. Within 5 minutes it's done. And as Marco said, we're here. We can enjoy the restaurants. Since today everything went back to level 2, so the restrictions actually went down. So you can go to the gym. The restaurants are filled up for half inside and on the terrace. We can enjoy the water, and it's very, very comfortable to be here.
Yeah, the numbers are going down, that's a good thing.
You can see it even with the tourists who are coming in.
Yeah.
Like everybody's pretty nervous, like to get to the airport, to come here, and then suddenly you see them here on the beach. The sea, everybody's sailing. I mean, this year we have incredible conditions here.
Yeah.
It's almost, I think we've been every day almost on the water.
I've been here 9 days, I've been 7 days on the water.
Yeah. And you can see everybody on the water. Like there is still this Corona, but you still everybody smiling, enjoying the conditions. Doesn't matter if windsurfing, kiting, winging. It's just good to be here.
Yeah, it's good. The island is, the numbers are getting better, and also with the test, everything is more controlled. So I can agree. We are positive about this winter, and more people are coming, and it's getting better. So we are all positive. You guys started training last weeks. How is it? How does it feel to get back to the water, competing with the guys? How is it going?
Pretty rusty.
Yeah.
To be honest. I mean, normally we have quite a long season until, let's say, November. And now we didn't. I think the last race I did was maybe first week of September, some Dutch championships. So you arrive here and half of the top 10 is here.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, welcome, we take it easy and we go. No, it's full on PWA style, no rules, fighting. But it's very nice. You really feel that this is what we would love to do, to race and to be here now, able to race again with the guys.
It's visible. You can see everybody's enjoying it. A few, Marco, how has it been?
As Jordy already said, I mean, we didn't have any competitions last year. And I thought, okay, I've been on the water. Jordy is now living in Austria as well. We've been on the water a few times. but it's completely different. As Jordy said, we are racing now against all the top 10 riders. So you're like, oof, okay, it's different. It's not free riding, cruising. It's like full on. It's pure adrenaline. It's amazing. And last year I really could focus a little bit more on R&D, because normally I don't have so much time because with all the competitions. So I was mainly focused on developing sails, testing mast, booms, etc.
Tuning our sails also very pleasant. Thank you. Yeah.
That's the most important for Duotone, is like the customer should be happy, like putting the mast in, putting tension on the sail, boom on, and they just should enjoy the conditions.
Nice. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that's a very nice introduction. Yeah, I think we can go on to some questions. Do we have anything in? Let me check to my left. Yeah, I see one question already here on the screen. And this is a question to Jordy. And Thomas asked, if you could give one tip on how to increase your speed on slalom gear, what would that be?
One tip. How long can that tip be?
Well, we have all the time.
I mean, I would say with the gear you have, really try out everything. You know, try your sail with less downhill, try your sail with more downhill, try your boom high, low, upper clue, lower clue, must track to the front, you know, foot strap positions. Just really try all your stuff. Because that way you can learn about your equipment and really see quicker progress in your speed. You know, you can realize what your gear is doing and therefore become faster. I don't think there is, I'm gonna tell you, okay, move your body like this and you'll be 3 kilometers per hour faster. It's not working like that. But if you have your stuff, you try out everything, you will see progress.
Good. Thank you, Jordy, for this clear answer. Just to be clear, how can you get your questions here live in our studio? Where you are following it, at Facebook, YouTube or whatever, you can just put in the comments your question. It's also nice to address it to the rider, which you want a tip from. Marco Lang, Jordy Vonk. The guys together have a lot of information, and maybe some secrets that they can share to get you to the next level. Just write your question in the comments, and we will try to get to as much questions as possible. The next question is for Marco Lang. What's your favorite fin size? Yeah, this is a question we get every year. But what's your favorite fin size, Marco?
First of all, I have to say what's my favorite combo. It's like, I would say it's the 140 Fanatic Falcon and 8.4 Warp, and I'm using the 44 chopper fin. Chopper.
Get into the chopper.
Yeah.
Alright, good. We have the next question already in from Bart van Boogaard. What is different between the Warp 2020 and the Warp 2021? I think Chief Tester Marco Lang.
It's a secret, sorry.
It's a secret.
No,
The must sleeve is blue now.
Actually, everything started last year in January. We started here with the developing. Kai Hopf was last year here with the Sri Lanka guys. Kai is actually not here now. Kai is back on Maui, but we still have the active loft here, so we are still working on new prototypes. And with the Warp 2020, we changed quite a lot compared to the new Warp. We had a little bit more high aspect, which the feelings maybe Jordy's gonna say later. So the sail became more high aspect, the boom more narrow. The profile we moved a little bit further up, which gives you a much nicer feeling on the water, lighter feeling, better acceleration, especially out of the jibes. And you should have a little bit more control, especially in choppy conditions.
Nice. So again, improvements. What's for you the biggest difference between the sail, Jordy? What do you feel?
I mean, the feeling on the hands is, I guess, the biggest difference. Where last year you really had a bit of backhand the whole time, and at this moment the whole, basically the point which is pulling you forward is more neutral now, which is actually very comfortable and very easy to ride. And especially here, the moment it gets strong, the sail is so stable, which is very, very nice and fast.
Nice. I see we have already the next question. This one is from Chantal Elzinga. I think she knows you guys. She asked if you go to Tenerife because Austria is too cold.
Maybe we should start with Jordy first.
I mean, it's definitely cold in Austria. It's warmer in Holland. Chantal is from Holland, but even there, you know, in the end, we come here because we have a perfect setup. You know, we have, I don't know, in total, I think it's about 70 guys who come here in the winter. We have Guillen, an amazing race director, which is out here with the boat. We do races 4 times a week. Like a better training setup, we can't imagine. And in Austria, I think now to convince the guys to come sailing gloves and 7mm wetsuits in -5 degrees is really tempting. So do we come here because it's too cold in Austria? On the one hand, yes, but we mostly come here because of the facilities we have here.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, Austria is pretty nice, especially now for skiing and everything. I can confirm Jordy became a real proper skier.
Yeah?
Yeah, really good for
it. Next career, maybe.
I didn't ski yet, so not completely proper.
No, but he became pure Austrian, so for an Austrian, upper ski doesn't exist.
No.
But he's a really good skier, but as Jordy already said, windsurfing is our business, so that's why we're here, because it's warm, windy, sunny, and we have to train.
Joost is here.
Yeah. Good to see you, Joost, again.
Thank you, it's good to see you guys again. Yeah. Oh, with this live stream, it feels like we are back to the meet and greet, the coziness.
It's kind of normal again, huh?
Yeah.
Just a little bit with distance,
We
but
can't
still.
No, I can't talk. It's what it is. I mean, you guys are crushing me anyway when you have to big slalom dudes. Anyway, I see we have already a next question, but this is a question about wave sails. That's more interesting for me. Andre is his name. Question 1. I am very happy with my 2019 superhero, he says, but wondering how much the battens should touch the mast on max and minimal downhaul. Asking as it breaks the batten pocket after some time. I don't know. It's about the rotation of the sail, I assume. I know that the superheroes have quite some profile, so...
This is like the main problem what I always see, especially I would say on all the sails. No cam sails.
Yeah.
That customers put always too much tension on the outhole. They make it too flat, and then you're gonna take all the profile out. And we call it kind of, the sail is dead. Yeah. So it's what I always recommend, or even we are doing it on the slalom sails. The sail always has to touch the boom a little bit.
Yeah.
And yesterday I had a customer here with a Duotone sail. So, for example, if you want to have the profile, if you want to keep the profile in the front, just reduce the downhill a little bit, and the profile is going to the front. If you're gonna add profile, the sail becomes flat in the front, and the power is going to the back. So I always recommend, especially here in this, if you want to get early planing, just reduce the downhill a little bit. We have the dots in the sail, the min and max. Just try to find your own balance a little bit.
Yeah. And it's normal that the batten is touching the boom or the mast.
Yeah.
I mean, I had this question came by a couple of times last year. Is it normal because the old school sails and also the 5 batten sails they are more free from the mast?
With the RDM, there is space that the batten can rotate. I mean, you have to pull it really as much as you can, that the batten is not even touching the mast, but then the sail is kind of.
The superhero is powerful.
Yeah.
So,
it's also like if the wind is picking up, you should not pull so much on the outhole, because then the sail becomes quite stiff quite nervous, so it's better if you're gonna keep it kind of like the profile in the sail. Better to change a smaller sail.
Nice, nice. You're also better in wave riding now since your trip in South Africa. Seen some nice shots.
Definitely going to Cape Town 3 years, not in a row, I had one break. It definitely improved my wave skills. I can confirm I still can't jump.
No?
I'm still going for over-rotated back loops and under-rotated front loops.
But I think this is like a sign of every slalom rider. I'm doing the same.
Nah, not every slalom rider, but yeah,
Few.
yes. But I love wave riding. I like in Cape Town. I prefer to go a bit more to down the line wave spot.
Nice,
But
nice.
I'm improving there.
And you use the superheroes, right?
I actually had a mix this time.
All right.
I think the superstar I really like as a sail as well. It's a bit more pulling compared to the superhero. The superhero is a bit more neutral in the hands, and the superstar is a bit more pulling.
Pulling to the front.
To the front,
Yeah.
yeah. And as a slalom guy, I'm kind of used to that pull to the front, so I actually found it pretty comfortable.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
nice.
It's like also really important that we want to have like two separate wave cells with
Yeah.
a separate feeling. Like as Jordy already mentioned, like the superstar has the pulling effect, like the draft position forward and up, and the superhero have it a little bit more to the back, which
Yeah.
is nicer for wave riding. But especially for here, Tenerife, I would just recommend the superstar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's early blading, and it's even for jumping, for normal jumps like us, rocket airs or something. It's a superstar
It doesn't do it
perfect.
automatic, but
The rocket airs. Well, you also do it on slalom gear. Seen you jumping.
It's
through
a
the
good
bay,
feeling, but
it's not good for the board.
yeah,
it's not good for the board. But it's a 100-kilo guy jumping on a slalom board. Yeah. What do you expect?
feels good.
All right. Andre has another question. Question 2 from Andre. How do you become part of the Duotone R&D team? Marco,
It started already.
directly to you.
I think it was 2014. I went for the first time, or 2013, sorry. Went for the first time to Maui
All right.
to meet like Kai Hopf, our sail designer. Was actually pretty nervous because everybody was talking about Kai, the big man, fast.
He is a big man.
Yeah, and like I remember the first time to be on the water with Kai because you know it's Kai Hopf. The sail, you want to show him your speed, what you can do on the water. And then I just went on the water. First of all, he took one sail size bigger. It was 40 knots plus. I just took me like 50 meters and I had my first catapult. 200 meters further, my next one, and then yeah, I was already done. So it was my first experience with Kai Hopf. And from that moment, it kind of started with our relationship with Kai. I went like at least 2 times a year. I would go to Maui, and yeah, since 2 years I'm now chief tester. I'm a part of the team. I'm taking care of the whole developing of from wave sails to the slalom sails. I prefer the slalom sails because I'm still a slalom sailor.
Secret freestyler.
Yeah. And it's really like, it's kind of a passion, and last year it's like a dream came true. We became world champion. It's like amazing feeling, and hopefully we're gonna get another title. We have a person sitting on the right which is pushing quite hard, and I guess he will be already scratching on the podium or on the title. So
I cannot remember you were not in the top 5, so it's about time.
yeah. So we just have to give him a little kick and then he will be there.
I'll be pushing.
I put some money in.
And how is it for you, the ride here and the development in combination with competitions?
I mean, it's I'm kind of lucky not to be responsible for it. So basically, I go out sailing and I tell Marco what's going on.
Yeah.
And also here, Marco comes to the beach with a prototype, tells me, Jordy, okay, go out with this, let me know. So the pressure is a little bit less for me compared to the pressure on Marco, which is basically responsible for the end product, let's say. And I just feel responsible for giving him the right feedback to get to that product. For sure, he's an amazing sailor himself as well, but you always need 2-3 people, you know. First of all, different opinions, second of all to compare, and I'm super happy that I can basically be one of the guys to help him and give him feedback.
It's always good to get more feedback, and I'm not giving him all the sales when I know okay the sale is not the best, so he should focus on racing and to get used to the production sales. But when I have the feeling okay that sale could be good, I just need kind of a confirmation from all the riders, from Jordy, from Pierre, from Vincent, before we're gonna send it in production.
That's nice. Those guys are gonna come as well.
Sorry?
Vincent and Pierre?
Vincent is actually expecting a baby in February.
Ooh.
And he doesn't want to miss the moment. So that's the reason he's not here. I'm very sure otherwise he would have been here, because I think it's the first time in 7-8 years or maybe even more that he's not here.
Yeah.
But the little baby girl is coming up. Maybe it's now, I don't know. But
you know what it takes to become
you want to be there.
You don't want to miss the moment.
No.
No, I can imagine.
But Pierre will come in 2-3 weeks. He's still in holidays.
Yeah.
Take some time off, and then when he will be here, then we're gonna show him
You're
that
gonna
we
light
already
up the racetrack here.
that we trained already a bit, and we're gonna show him how to do it.
Good, good. All right, we move on to the next question. Another one from Andre. What's your favorite restaurant? Oh no, yeah. What's your favorite restaurant in El Médano? Oh, it should be.
For me, it's clear. It's
Pasta.
Macaroni Beach.
Macaroni Beach.
It's for me
Pasta.
the best place, especially for pasta. When you see him making the fresh pasta, it's just delicious. It's
I agree.
Macaroni Beach is good. And you guys, all the Slalom guys love pasta in the morning and for lunch.
But he offers like everything meat and everything fresh. Tuna tata. Oh.
It's fresh.
Yeah.
That's good. You guys don't like really the Canarian food? I mean, Goffio is super nice.
I
Just
have to,
pasta, you just
I have
eat
to
pasta.
become heavier, and when I
Heavier, you already
need to keep my weight.
We've been on the scale. We had a meeting regarding PWA rules and stuff, and we were on the scale, and Marco was the winner with 99 kilos.
Shit.
98.
98. Only 19.
Unbelievable. The boom. Good. So Macaroni Beach it is.
Yeah.
Andre. Next question is from Tim Jansen. He says, hi guys, any tips on how to rail the board properly?
Yeah, I mean, a lot comes from your gear tuning. If you have a wrong fin, for example, the moment you set the board on the rail and the fin can't hold it, you will spin out or fly away or anything like that. So you really need to make sure your gear is on point, basically. Beside that, I would really suggest you have 60% pressure on your back leg, 40% on your front leg, and then with the back leg foot, you can really try to tilt your board away from you to basically get that board on the rail.
And how you're in the foot straps? Because I see.
Yeah, so you have both feet in the foot strap.
All right.
You have 60% pressure on your back foot, 40 on your front foot, and then with your back foot you try to rail that board. And of course, 85 wide board will rail more than a 63 wide board because of the surface.
Yeah. And are you with your feet all the way in the foot strap, or?
It depends a little bit on, for example, a small board. I prefer to have my straps a little bit bigger, be a little bit more on the inside of the board, just to have control. And on the big board, it's basically opposite. I have them a bit more tiny, so you stand a bit more on the outside, so you can create more power.
Good. You have any tips? How to rail the board?
He said already everything, and for me, it's like what I always recommend. The fin, I think, is the most important. Huh? You need like if the fin is too small, the board starts to fly away a little bit because you push too much the tail. For example, as you said, my favorite combo is like the 8.4 and the 140 is like I'm using a 44. 46 is already too big because then the nose gets pushed down, and with a 43 or 42 the board starts to fly away. So 44, you need really like the perfect size to get really the perfect trim of the board.
Nice. And any tips on how to handle the sail? Because it sometimes almost look like you guys are doing bottom turn on a wave. It's really forward and full power.
In a jack, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you gotta commit. You know, if you go half, especially here in the job, at the moment you are not sure about your jibe and you kind of the jump will bounce off and
But you come from really planing. You go into the jibe.
yeah, you slow down a little bit, but the speed you use inside the jibe you can take outside the jibe because obviously you want to be out of there as quickly as possible.
It looks scary for me. Yeah, I'm not a slalom guy. But, it looks hardcore. I'm happy I'm not in the mix. Next question. David Eisenberg, or Eisenberg. Eisenberg.
Could be a German as well.
No, I think it's German.
Eisenberg.
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 David Eisenberg. What's the difference between the Superstar and the Super Session from last year?
It's pretty similar, the sail. Like it has the same trough position, like the high one forward, but we tried to add like a performance. We tried to add like, because it was the Super Session was like this pump and jump. The Superstar is still the pump and jump sail, but we add like this wave performance.
Yeah, you eliminated the batten. It's now a 4 batten.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, for example, I got some pictures yesterday, or maybe the guys who followed Adam Lewis on the Facebook and Instagram. He was riding Jaws yesterday, one of the biggest day by far. It was like 50 meters or something, or 30 feet, something. And he was using the Superstar because he wants like a fast sail. And as Jordy already said, you have like this pulling effect, and you want to get as fast as possible down the line to get away of the white water. And it's still like, as I said, this pump and jump, but we add like, so it's, I would say the Superstar is doing everything.
Yeah.
So if you have like, if you sail in Garda, if you sail here on Tenerife, or like Gran Canaria, some onshore wave conditions, I prefer the Superstar. And if you have down the line conditions like Mauritius or Maui, I would recommend the Superhero.
Yeah. Yeah, you used both, you said, in South Africa. You made a combination with the Superstar and Superhero. What conditions you use more Superstar? What conditions more Superhero, for example?
So, actually I had a 5.0 Superhero when it was a bit lighter and there were still waves, and it's not really basically bump and jump conditions. Actually, originally I wasn't planning to go to Cape Town, so I just ordered a 4247 Superstar, and then suddenly the borders opened and I did a clinic there and had some other stuff to do, so that's why I was like, okay, I need extra sail, but there a bit more down the line, not so much jumping, so I decided to take the Superhero 5.0 for that reason.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
And the name Superstar also says something. I mean,
It's right here. It's
everybody knows it. Maybe still back in the days, I started. That was actually my first new sail, which my parents bought me, and it was a Superstar. And it's good to have it back with the star.
even I used it. I got it from somebody.
Everybody who wants to be a superstar should stick on the.
Yeah, we all love the sail here. It's super popular. It sails nice. It's different from the Superhero.
Yeah.
It's more fine-tuned than the Super Session from last year. So it's, for me, it's incredible. And
It's a stargazer.
yeah. No, for in the center, people renting, it's also really nice because they are two very distinctive sails. You have the more, for me also the heavier sailor, more powerful sailors, they tend to like the Superhero more.
Yeah.
But the lighter sailors like the conditions and a little bit more playful, less powerful sailor. Superstar, it's perfect to work with for me. That's my opinion. Good. Next question. Pedro Paixiero. A slalom race can have foil and fin struggling together. Please explain a bit about this new discipline.
First of all, Pedro is the legend who got us to Viana do Castelo for a World Cup. I think it was 2018.
Yeah. One of the windiest events ever.
Pedro, you were
Bring us back.
You're a legend. We really hope this year it's on the calendar again. I mean, he's not one of the organizers, but I think he brought up the idea there to do the event, and it was such an amazing event. And there we didn't see the foil and fin struggle because, to be honest, it was so freaking windy. No one would have been on the foil.
It was like a whole week of 5-5.
Yeah, it was insane. I think it was one of the best racings we had. But to come down to your question, yeah, we always do slalom. And on this slalom course, we're allowed to use fin and foil. It's your own decision basically, what you're using. Is it a bit of a struggle sometimes? Maybe. It's actually the moment it gets 8.4 big board full power, we're faster on fin. But there's this gray area. We see sometimes here also that the moment the gusts are still strong, but it's dropping sometimes. The one race the fin is winning, and the other race the foil is winning. So it's very exciting to see the decisions we will take in the races and how everything will play out. But the basic rule is very simple. There's always a slalom course. We can use whatever we want. And that's the way we race.
Do you have anything to add, Marco?
I think it's something new, and it's good to see something new on the racing course. We had this slalom on the fin already for so many years, and now something new. Especially we can show already a great show on the water. We saw it today on the water late afternoon. It was like 8 to 10 knots maybe. In the past we were not able to race in this condition, and now we can bring up a good show on the fall. And if the wind is picking up a little bit, as Jordy said, we're gonna mix it up maybe. Yeah. One guy will be on the fin, the other guys will be on the fall. Maybe on the first reach you're gonna be a little bit faster on the fin, but then in the jibe maybe you're gonna struggle a little bit to get out of the jibe, and then the foiler's already there. Then they're gonna fight on the second reach. So I think we're gonna have some close fights this year on the PWA Tour.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah.
Definitely.
Exciting to see what's going to happen. Next question is from Richard Houghton. He asked Marco, in which aspects of design do you see the most opportunity for improving sail performance in the future? For example, new materials, or fundamentally different shapes, or something else?
Tricky question. Maybe he's working for another sail company.
Oh!
Beep.
Secrets.
Yeah,
the secrets.
As I mentioned already before, with the warp, for example, we went this year with the warp a little bit more high spec, which is already a completely different shape. We went like 10 cm on few sizes longer, which makes already a big difference. And on the wave sails, we're also trying sometimes few other shapes like, or outlines I would call it, like especially in the top. We had now, in the past we had a wider top, which had a big effect on the rotation for the guys for the double loops. Now we went for a more narrow top, like the same on the idles, because especially the guys are doing double air moves or for double loops. So you want to have like a more narrow top, which improves like the rotation on the water. Yeah. Especially for the double loop, but cannot do it. And material-wise, yeah, we have since 2 years, we have the membrane, for example, which is also a pretty nice sail. It feels different to the monofilm, which everybody knows. Yeah. It stretches a little bit, but it gives you a really nice feeling, especially when the wind is really light, especially for wave riding. It planes a little bit earlier, but it has definitely a different feeling compared to the monofilm. And for example, in the warp, we are using X-ply in the top on the small sizes. The X-ply is also stretching a little bit more as the monofilm, which gives you maybe a little bit more control in the high winter. So everybody thinks sometimes that X-ply is stronger, is maybe also wrong. It looks stronger, but monofilm is sometimes stronger.
All right, that's interesting. Yeah. But there's no real new development on material?
There's always developing, but
Secrets.
we're gonna release it when we have it on the market.
I almost.
But don't worry, Duotone is keep pushing. Doesn't matter if just Corona tries to stop us a little bit with developing. As Kai is not here now, we always stay connected. I always have him on the phone. We try new material, we try new shapes. We keep pushing. We want to offer our customers new product, better products.
Yeah, it's what you say also with the material. Everything feels different.
Yeah.
So it's also what we already discussed with the superstar and the superhero. They are both amazing sales, but
Yeah.
they just feel so different. So it's also, you can make it more personal for the people.
We try to have like for every single customer one product.
Yeah. Well, that's a good philosophy. We bought some more family, the Duotone family. Next question already from Stefan Noten. Oh, no question, but just greetings from Germany. I had a great time with Joost, that's me, and the team for the last 2 years, TWS and DPC. Wow. Maybe we'll meet next year again. Stay safe, have fun, and hang loose. Stefan, I remember you. Your video is also somewhere on YouTube that you made from us here with your GoPro. I recommend everybody to check it out. It's beautiful. You get a good impression about the spot and his experience. And you are an amazing guy. And I look forward that you come back, Stefan. So thanks for this nice message. Siger Boonstra has a question. Each of you use different fins. How do you choose the best shape for a board? Because each fin gives another input. How do you decide which fin is the best, basically?
Basically, we are actually always testing the boards with different fins. You know, Marco uses chopper, I'm using now Finnish fins. We all have carpenters. We are really trying all different kind of fins with the boards, and we basically have, we meet somewhere in the middle. Let's say it like this. You know, it should work with all kind of fins, and we don't really see that the fin is changing too much the direction of the shape we choose for a board.
Yeah. I think
so
that's
it's pretty open answer, but
Yeah.
but we all use fins we actually know already. Because if you use a brand new fin with a prototype board, you don't really know if it's the board or the fin.
Yeah, that's difficult.
So for sure we use something we know already. But basically we use a mix. We try a mix, and then only so far the boards are working great, so it worked out.
Wow, nice. Thank you for the answer, guys. Right now we're gonna go into a little break because the guys are thirsty from answering all the questions. During the break, we're gonna show you some footage from the last couple of days, how it looks here in Tenerife, in El Médano especially, and also during the break, don't forget to put your questions in the comments, and it can be as crazy as you want. The guys are here to answer. We're gonna continue in a couple of minutes, and until then, enjoy the footage. Tenerife, El Médano. We are live from Duotone Pro Center with the meet and greet made possible by Duotone windsurfing. This is all about windsurfing today because we have Marco Lang and Jordy Vonk here in our studio. Don't forget to send your questions. We will try to answer as much as possible. And as we speak, we will move on to the next question from Ruben Munsing. I'm curious if you guys have a special meal before a big day. Do you pay a lot of attention to foods? Alcohol.
You drink a schnapps before you go on the water.
Yeah, if it's like a good day, like here, like a long day with 15 races, I think it's the most important to have like a proper breakfast because you don't want to eat so much during the races. So I always have some eggs and oats in the morning to fill up my stomach, to be ready to feel heavy, to have like the full support of my 98 kilos on the board. That
even if you are heavy, you feel heavy as well.
Because I always prefer to have a long breakfast and big breakfast because I'm struggling to eat something during the races, especially also in competitions. I just eat some nuts and bananas, but not like a proper meal. Also, then for dinner, then I'm gonna fill up
Macaroni beach.
Yeah, macaroni beach.
So you skip lunch, basically?
Sometimes, especially here, not. I try to eat something. I always cook some pasta in the morning, but in competitions, during competitions, I always just eat bananas because you don't want to feel like some stomach. You want to just focus on your race, nothing else.
No, I can imagine.
And bananas and nuts.
There's days where you don't have time to digest, basically. So I'm not a morning person, but still breakfast is the most important meal, I would say.
Now maybe your rhythm has changed a little bit since a couple of months.
With the baby that he normally likes to sleep quite long as well. I guess he has that from me because the wife is a morning person, I'm not. Luckily so far so good. So
Good.
But yeah, breakfast is important.
That's your strategy as well. Big breakfast?
At least a proper breakfast. I don't eat so much for breakfast, but
and you don't eat eggs.
I don't eat eggs. No,
No?
It's a bit of a problem. No, I don't know. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, but the oats with some yogurts, fruits, and some additional stuff.
All right.
And some stroopwafel.
Stroopwafels always.
Stroopwafel.
Yeah. Drop stroopwafels.
Stroopwafel.
Kaas. Okay.
And the alcohol?
Yeah, that's what I like.
I mean, during PWA, obviously not until you're celebrated on the podium. Who I won? They need to take some alcohol. No, I mean during a PWA, no alcohol. Here in the weekend, in the evening, we have a beer, but nothing too crazy, and especially now without the papagayo, not much parties either. So no, I think the dinner in the evening and taking a protein shake after sailing, that makes you recover for the next day. Obviously, if you drink 5 beers, you will not be recovered the next day.
No.
So easy on the alcohol.
No, but it's for me it's impressive to see you guys because you are on the water all day and you guys are big, strong, heavy. I mean.
And still off the 2 beers I can get.
No, but I think you have to eat basically all day and a lot of protein. I see every slalom, every day the slalom training is on, I see containers of pasta passing by with guys eating.
So El Médano is running out of pasta.
I could compare to, I guess, compared to a normal person, let's say, or if you have an office job. I think if you have an office job and you eat the amount we eat,
It's
probably it gets there.
impossible. Yeah.
And we don't need alcohol to have fun.
No.
I think it's also working without alcohol.
I think that covers the question. That answers it. We have a question from Pieter van der Zande. Sounds like a Dutch guy. Hey Jordy and Marco, some brands use only 2 mast lengths for their 6.2 up until A2 racing range. Do you think this negatively affects performance? I will start with.
Do you know which brand is actually using?
Actually, I don't know which brands he means, but I would say especially racing, like we are trying to really have the best seals, and for example, each size in our range has a specific mast length. For example, the 5.5, the 400, okay, the 6.2 as well, 400. Oh no, sorry, it's the 5.5. I'm sorry for 380. The 6.2 on the 400. So every sail has its own length, and I think to get really the best performance out of the sail, you
Too
need
much would not work.
no, because sometimes if the mast, if you use the extension too long, the sail becomes soft. If you use like zero extension, the sail is too stiff. So you need like a certain amount of extension length that you really get like the best performance out of the sail.
Yeah.
For like a customer who is using maybe just freeride sails, then I think it's a good option to have maybe to reduce the mast length. But especially for the racing sails, I would just recommend like every sail size should have its own.
It's a little bit more specific.
Yeah.
Also with the cambers.
Yeah.
All right. Jordy, you have any? Did you ever?
I mean, the racing sails have to have the most performance. I mean, for us to take an extra mast, for example, the 6.2 I think is going on a 400 with 32 extension, which means you can use it with a 432 and 2 centimeters extensions, but it makes the sail super stiff. So is it possible? Yes. So if you want to reduce the amount of mast, even with our sails, is it possible? Yes. But we have to race, we have to be the fastest and the fastest of the world, you know, and therefore you need to take the maximum out of it.
Yeah.
And we're not looking, at least for the warp, to make it fit on the mast. No, it has to be the best thing out there.
Yeah.
And if that comes with a specific mast per size, then that's the way.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting what you say about the 4 meter with 32 extension. I'm always, when I see that, I was like, why?
I get a lot of questions. Can I use like a 430 as Jordy mentioned? Like, but as Jordy already said, you want if you want to buy or if you're gonna buy warp, you want to be the fastest one. You want to win races. You want to win titles. So you want to have the best performance. And the sail is literally way too stiff. So you're not gonna win anything.
No.
So I would always, everything is written on the sail or in the sail bag, what we as team, brand, I recommend. So that's the way to go, I would say.
Is it possible? Yes. Will you take the max out of it? No.
Yeah, clear. But then 2 masts for big range will not work.
I mean, we have.
If the brand he refers to made it work, maybe it works, but our experience so far.
No, me is.
On the wave sails is a different story. For example, if we have like the small sizes, we have a vario top.
Yeah.
Because you can use like one mast for 3 sail sizes. We always write like the best mast, what we recommend for that sail, which is really giving you the best performance. But then you can use like a slightly longer mast as well, if you just want to use one mast with 2 sails or something.
Yeah.
But you will never get that performance.
Different. But some people might, with the wave sail, might be some people that like it more stiff or. But for slalom sails, definitely it will not work. Okay.
No.
Good, it's clear, guys. Thanks for this answer. Interesting for me as well. Learn something. Next question is from Goran Bozic. Do you produce new line of masts when you produce new line of sails? Is platinum? Oh, it's a little bit okay. Are the platinum masts the same every year, or do you update them with better materials or with anything or some improvements?
Since I'm in the R&D team with Duotone, or before, I don't want to announce the name now. I can't remember that we changed anything on the mast, and I think this is like the most important. If you have like customers who are ready for so many years using the same brands, maybe they still have some old platinum must, but they should also use it for their new sales.
Yeah.
And I think this is the most important to keep like customers in the brand with your product. If you're gonna change every year the product, like the seal plus the must, I think then sometimes you're not even telling them. I think then you're gonna lose some customers or they're not gonna trust you anymore.
No.
So we didn't change anything. The STM, the RDM must always the same performance.
All right. And you have the gold, platinum.
With the gold, silver, yeah.
And that difference between the biggest difference between those two musts is?
First of all is the weight, and the gold is a little bit softer, so it means the draft is going a little bit backwards, and you're not gonna have the same stability as with the platinum must.
Okay.
But they're all as strong as the other ones. It's just the stiffness and the weight and the performance.
No. Interesting.
But there should be a difference.
But compared to the sales, there's less development in the must.
Yeah.
They work. They're good.
I mean, with the performance seals, I always recommend the platinum, the high performance must, because you want to get like the best performance out of the seal. With a free ride seal, with a S-Pace or E-Pace, you also can stick to a gold master, which offers you also a great performance. But you always will get a better performance with a platinum master. And if you're gonna buy once a platinum must, you will have them forever. I still have one racing must in my van, which is from 2013.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Still use it?
Just to answer this question.
Oh yeah, good.
In the golden box.
In the gold box. I just take it for racing.
Good. Wow. I think that answers the questions. We move on to the next one from Klaus Walter.
Ooh. Is it the Klaus?
The Klaus
Yes,
Walter?
I visited
Yeah.
him 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago.
Did the mast, bend curve, stiffness for wave sails change at all in the past 2 years for the 2020 designs?
First of all, Klaus is a wave rider from Cape Town. One of the best wave sailors, I would say, in Cape Town. Still incredible to see his performance in the waves. And to answer his questions, no, you still can use it old mast, as I said before.
Yeah. Is it recommended to buy a new mast with the new sails? It's addition to his question.
It's just if you're gonna get washed in somewhere in Cape Town, then you have to buy a new mast. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you need some spare ones.
Cape Town, I guess it's a good idea if you're not gonna travel just with one mast to Cape Town.
I only broke one mast in 3 years.
Oh, that's
Yeah?
good.
It's not too bad.
And he hits the lip. I saw some pictures.
I saw some pictures.
He hits.
I heard he even hit a kiter in Cape Town.
Huh?
I heard from reliable sources that there was a small kiter. Pushing hard, Jordy. That's good. That's good. All right. So the masts, they are the same. You can use them in the new 2020 sails without problem. You replace them when they break.
Exactly.
Good. Good to know. Christian Rosberg has another question. Is there any sailing difference between Duotone Superhero and Superhero Plus, except for the weight and the material? So does the sail feel different or what?
I would also say, like, first of all, the M+, the membrane, you start to you always can use it if you have, like, for example, a 5.0 Superhero. You could use you can compare it with a 4.7 membrane, which has like the same kind of early playing performance. It feels a bit softer. It starts to play earlier. It's definitely feeling lighter still, definitely much lighter, the material. But the main difference is really, like as I said before, the membrane is kind of stretching a little bit.
Yeah.
So the sail is kind of filling up, and then you're gonna get the response, the reaction of the sail. With the monofilm sail, with the X-ply, you immediately get something from the sail.
It's more direct.
Yeah. So that's kind of the main difference.
One thing that I noticed with the membrane, it's really was very interesting for me to experience, is that it's completely silent. The monofilm you hear,
it's kind of
working,
soft,
and the membrane, it's so you sail and you don't hear it. It's incredible.
Sound.
Yeah.
Light and sound.
It's opposite of the foil.
The eerie whistle. In my case. All right. Next question from Dominique Kochel. How far do you go to let a slalom board fly on the fin? Is there a technique if the nose is flying way too much to compensate that, or do you have to change the trim a bit more towards control?
I mean,
You also can talk Austrian because he's an Austrian. Huh?
Dominique
Yeah.
Kochel?
Yeah.
Hochdeutsch.
He always makes me a hard time on the water, especially during the competitions. Good racer from Austria,
All right.
giving me a hard time. So don't give him too much tips. Too many tips.
Tip 1 to beat Marco. I mean, basically what we're always trying to do is to make sure your board is flying above the water. Why, if you're not in first, dirty water from others are disturbing basically the surface, you want to fly above. The moment you go through chop, you really want to cut through. And the moment your board is flat, you will never cut through chop. You just hit every single one. The moment you're flying and you're on the rail, you cut through, you fly over. When is it too much? The moment you fly away. When is it not enough? The moment you're sticky. So when I'm trimming my stuff, I'm always searching for the point where it's basically high on the water, but it doesn't fly away. You always want to build in a little bit of security, I would say. If you're always completely on the limit and suddenly the wind picks up and you fly away, then obviously you have some problems. But search that limit, go for that limit, and then you'll find your sweet spot.
Nice. You have anything
And
to
then you'll
add?
beat Marco.
Yeah, especially on Choco Lake, famous lake.
Choco Lake?
Yeah, we call it Choco Lake. Yes.
Why do you call it chocolate?
You didn't see the lake Noisela?
No.
It looks like a Choco Lake. There's
Yeah.
cannot see the bottom, and it's not
The
that deep.
moment your feet are this much below the water, you don't see it anymore.
No, and we have a really like the waves are quite tight, so you need like to keep the board flying. And Jordy gave already all the tips.
Yeah. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's why he's there.
All right, next question is from Leon Ippel. Yo guys, do you have an ideal harness line length for modern boards and sails?
He's an old friend of my father.
Oh really?
Cool friend. Yeah. Leon, ideal harness line length? No, there's not.
Long.
I think Marco is the only guy who's using fixed harness lines. I would say there is an ideal length which is 28-34. For me personally, that's ideal. So variable lines. When it's
So
light,
when I use short harness lines,
when it's light.
yeah.
Also when you're on smaller gear, the moment it's lighter, I make them short. Or when it's really flat water, when it's really flat, I can use them short as well. The moment it gets choppy, wavy, or anything like that, I'm extending them to have control.
Yeah.
Long lines control, short lines power. So automatically, if you look at my booms in the van, the 9.0 will pretty sure have short lines, and the 5.5 will pretty much be on 34.
A few you use fixed.
I think as Jordy already mentioned,
The only guy.
I think I'm really the only guy in the PWE, but I think because before was a freestyler.
Yeah.
With freestyle, you just use fixed harness lines.
And what length do you use, Marco?
As Jordy already said, 28 in the light wind condition, like 9084. Then you go to 30 with 77, and then, for example, on the 5.5, I'm using 36 because as long as the harness line gets, like
6.
I think 36.
Your arm's long enough to reach.
Yeah,
the ball with 36.
that's actually, I would recommend who wants to train the forums, it's a good training for it. No, because you want to have like control, especially in Forte when the conditions are really rough, it's good to have long harness lines.
Yeah. And Jordy, when you are wave sailing, what do you use? Because it's a
30.
discussion that I have a lot here.
30.
That's actually
30.
short,
It's-
for, that's
Is that
actually
short?
short,
Okay,
yeah.
Different answer, yeah. That's short.
Victor is using 34.
Me too.
Yeah.
I have not tried anything else than 30 for the last 5 years, so maybe I will use 34 now.
We can give you a harness line lesson here to get you a little bit.
And see later
Do some lessons here,
podcast,
yeah,
and
we
then
can- we
I
can-
can bring my wave stuff. So.
Maybe extend your wave riding size a bit. No, but interesting. Now it's very different in slalom from wave steering. I already hear.
I actually sold my boom, and the guy was like, "Oh Jesus, your lines are long." So actually, I thought 30 was quite normal or long, but apparently.
No, it's still relatively long, because.
But you see it quite often that customers are using too short harness lines. And
Yeah.
you always try to explain, because the problem is, if you use too short harness, first of all, you're not gonna have the same control, and you want to have like the sail a little bit more up.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna get like the full performance.
Yeah, you have to wait more next to the board. You're not.
Yeah.
It's a bit more free.
Because sometimes you see them like the sail is already like that, and they're gonna like talking about performance and hanging on the boom like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So
So everything between 28
Yeah.
and 34
You're
is what
safe.
you guys use, and it is
That's the range.
lighter, shorter, more wind, longer.
Yeah.
Clear. Good. Next question from Richard Mull. Deep respect for the guys in the boat all day. Jordy, I saw you change your board Saturday from 115 to 98 liter. How did it work out with the same sail? Oh, that's a guy on location. Richard Mull.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of respect for Guy, who's in the boat. I personally have been on that boat and I got seasick after 7 minutes. So I have to be even more respect.
we need to call the rescue. We have to call the rescue.
Yeah. But no, here on Tenerife it can get super choppy, and a smaller board gives more control than a bigger board. So in this case I was on 7.0 and 115. It was very choppy, it got a lot stronger, and changing down to the 97 just gives me control. And therefore with the same sail I could just hold the sail much longer, just because stepping down in board size, it gave me a lot of control.
I was, for example, on the 115, later on the 107. Maybe on the first reach here with the waves, you still have a little chance to compete against the guy with the smaller board. But especially in the jibes, you have a disadvantage, because with the smaller board you can go more tight, and on the way out you're just gonna lose it, because here everybody who sailed already here knows how rough it can be from 30 knots on, and if you have a medium board,
It was hectic, it was windy.
you're gonna make some rocket airs.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw some nice rocket airs. Interesting. Good. Then we move on to the next question. It's from Sup and Surf. At what wind strength do you go surfing, and with what size sail? Greetings from Germany.
Pretty open question.
It's a pretty open question, but yeah.
I mean, from what wind strength we start, that gets super light now with the foil. I mean, 7-8 knots, I guess we can get up on the foil and we can go.
Yeah.
So normally it was at least above 10 knots to go out with a 9.0 and a 140. So I guess the foil really made us go earlier, at least 3-4 knots, which is quite a lot in that kind of wind range. So yeah, anything to add?
No.
7 knots and we can go.
Yeah.
Have fun.
And then, as we said already before, there's no limit. I mean, the guys I was last year at the Defi Wind, to compete at the Defi Wind, and some guys were at the World Cup in Costa Brava. It's not far away. I was using a 5.0 fully raw powered, and these guys had to go on the foil in 50 knots plus. I saw some amazing pictures, me cruising in flat waters. These guys had some huge waves, and they even had to use the foils. Fully respect, so
That's a different story.
yeah, it's definitely a different story.
All right. Peter van der Zande is back because he really wants to have the question about the two masts. He was referring to the S2 Maui sails with the 2-mast length. Jordy, would you recommend taking a gap year in El Medano to train slalom and increase my level? Your clinic in September was awesome, by the way. Oh, so.
I mean, depends on how much you want to push your level. It's basically what I did. I think it's already 6 years ago. I didn't really took a gap year, but I did an internship at the TWS. That made me be here for 5 months. And I think I really improved a lot in those 5 months. I think it was not that year. I think after 2 winters here, I went from 30th in the PWA ranking to 13. So that's quite a jump.
No, you said it, 9 days here, 7 days on the water. That's
yeah,
the key, no?
there's the amount of competitions you can do here in the winter, you can do nowhere else. You know, 1 winter here, I think I calculated that year where I was here for 5 months, so we only have 3 months of racing training here, and I think I did about 450 races. If you do World Cup, you will do maybe, let's say in one of the best World Cups we have 10 eliminations. If you're out first round, you do 10 races. So to get to 450 races in World Cups, you really need to do a hell lot of competitions, you know. And I think to push your level, there's only one way. You gotta come here, spend a couple months, improve, and go from there.
And the top 10 is here.
Yeah,
There's a reason.
I mean you can see it.
Yeah.
Matteo became world champion. We have the TWS training race since 6-7 years. And my opinion, if we want to be there, if we want to compete in the PWA, be there in the top 10,
No,
there's no other way.
not only PWA, you know.
Doesn't matter
there's-
everywhere.
There's Thomas, a very
Yeah.
good example, who's been here for a couple of winters now as well. And I think 3 years ago he didn't even think about competing at the Dutch Championships, and last year he was vice world champion. So Thomas, vice Dutch champion, not world champion yet.
Not yet.
But I think he's also one of the guys. Maybe he didn't go to PWA yet, but on national level, he showed how much he learned here.
Yeah.
As Jordy said, it's not just for PWA riders.
No,
And
but
we had
it is-
last week some from Switzerland, some guys. It's really good to not just compete with the top 10 riders. Sometimes a little bit more relaxed, more fun. To keep going with some amateurs, not really, because there are for sure some good national riders in Holland which are pretty fast. So
Yeah. No, but in general, taking a gap year to come to El Menemo is not a bad idea at all. All right. I think we have run out of time already. We have answered a lot of questions. I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time and sit here and answering these questions for all the people. For me, it felt really like the meet and greet we had last year. And
same, huh? Nothing
we just
changed.
bring it to the living rooms, and we keep on going. Thank you so much. Very nice answers, very good questions from everybody, and yeah, we hope to see you again next week, same place, same time, and we will be here. We hope you too.